Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I have with me today, oh my gosh, I usually only bring 2 to 4, 5 meditation books with me today. Sometimes I bring all of them. Well, not all of them, because I probably have, well, let's see, I should just do like a little field trip and take you guys down the hall, but in the cabinet in our bathroom, I probably have 20 meditation books in there, and then downstairs in the basement, I probably have another 10 to 20. People have gifted them to me through the years, and it's just absolutely fantastic. My mom and I, for presents like for Christmas or birthdays or sobriety birthdays especially, used to always give the little meditation books to each other. So, all right, let's get into, actually one of them that I brought with me today was my 12-step book for the day. So, what's going on? Oh my Lord, excitement in the house. Let's start today from the Daily Book of Positive Quotations. I actually haven't read from this in a while. So let's start from this book today and see what it has to say. December 14th. All right, there's a lot of pretty pictures in here too of like little mountainscapes, and this is my favorite one over here. I'll show you. There's like trees with snow. My friend Tanya bought this one at Meijer. You can get this at you can get it online, you can get it at Meijer. I think I have it listed underneath here in my Amazon shop, but you don't have to buy it over there. But you can get this literally anywhere, and it's a fantastic meditation book. Okay, December 14th. Building character. Oh, this is a topic I really like to talk about. Building character. Character builds slowly, but it can be torn down with incredible swiftness. Faith Baldwin. We can be both strong and fragile at the same time. This is one of the paradoxes of human existence. Sometimes we seem capable of bearing almost anything. Other times, a few harsh words can tear us apart. Maybe this is why we often wonder if we're really as good or as strong as we think we are. A basic kindness we can do for others is to help them protect their own sense of strength and value. I will always try to help build, not destroy, self-esteem in others and in myself. It's an interesting meditation, and a character is something that we talk often about in meetings and in sobriety with our sponsors and things like that, because I truly believe that one of the things that we are doing as people in recovery is that we are, and just healing from any kind of, trauma of our past, our childhood, just anything that we've gone through in our lives, right? I truly believe that one of our goals is that we are trying to build character, right? And to me, character is, who are you at your core, what does your integrity say? And my dad has often said to me, once you give your integrity away, you can never get it back. And I think it's an interesting, statement. I can remember years ago, so I've talked a lot on here about having social anxiety and all of that. I still to this day, for me to go into a meeting, really anywhere, but I'm just going to use this in the context of a meeting because it applies. For me to go into a new setting, or even a setting that I go to on a regular basis, by myself, if I have friends with me or my husband, it doesn't seem as scary, but to go in by myself is still very terrifying for me, And so when I walk into, well, I don't do it as much anymore because my old sponsor used to really get on me about it, but I used to walk into rooms with my eyes down on the floor. I would look down on the floor. And one time I walked into a meeting and my sponsor took my head and he pushed it up like this and he said, when you walk in a room, you hold your head up high because today you are a person of character. And it really stood out for me because it was something that at the time I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I was a person of character. I still believed that old tape that was running in my head from 15, 20 years before, that I was this piece of crap that was unworthy of love, that didn't deserve goodness in my life. And that tape still today runs in my head, and I have to kind of put it out of my head and run this other tape that says, you are worthy today. You are a good person. You've done a lot of work on yourself. You're doing the best job that you can do on a daily basis, right? So I think it's an interesting concept. I know that I will never in my lifetime probably reach the character of the person that I hope to reach at some point. You know, because I think that there are very few people that are walking this earth that are truly humble. It was so funny because I talk about this, you know, on these videos over here, but I literally saw somebody put on social media the other day, and it just cracked me up. They were like, they said, in all honesty, I'm the most humble person that you'll meet. And they like meant it too, right? I was like, okay. But you know, for me, I think that a person of true character is selfless. I think they are somebody that is patient. I think they are somebody that is loving and kind in all things that they do. I think they are of service to others. I think they're extremely humble. I think they probably don't even know, or it is even on their radar, their own level of character and integrity, because it doesn't matter to them. That's not why they do the things they do. They do the things they do just because that's who they are. I think there are a few angels on earth like that are truly born that way. I really do. But just a few. I have probably, you know, in all honesty, in my 49 years, I've probably only met 3 to 4 people that are really like that. I think the rest of us, well, I think we have to work on it. You know, I think that's where we have to get up on a daily basis and do the best we can. And when we snap at somebody, apologize and make amends for it. And I think that when we do things that we shouldn't, or say things that we shouldn't, you know, own it and take some responsibility for it and all that kind of stuff. I think that once you get into kind of the rhythm of doing that, it's not difficult to continue that. But I think it's hard. You know, I think, first of all, you have to keep that as a goal in your mind, that you really care. Because listen, right? I mean, unless we are truly, truly, I think it's almost like religious, spiritual people, you know, that really believe that everything that you do in this life is like paid off in, like, you know, an afterlife, which I even think that some of the most religious people that I have met in my life, really practicing religious people, I don't know that they like consciously on a daily basis, or like whatever I do today is directly going to affect my getting into some kind of afterlife or whatever, you know, heaven or whatever. And so I think that for the majority of us, there's no payoff in just being a really good person. You know, there's no payoff in being of service to others on a regular basis, except for sometimes the feeling that we have inside of us, right? So then why would we be pushed in the direction of trying to work on humility, trying to work on integrity, you know, trying to be people of character? What's the payoff for that? Well, the payoff is you have a simpler, more peaceful life, in all honesty. I'm nowhere near that today. But I am more of a person of character today than I was, let's say, 30 years ago or 25 years ago, you know? And I have done a lot of work on my life. And the thing is that I have less of the chaos and the toxicity and negativity that I had in my life 30 years ago, I think is a direct result of having worked on some of those things. And I think the people in my life that have peaceful, serene lives today, you know, I think, I actually was having this conversation with a friend of mine one night after a meeting, and he said something about, but we were talking about doing like the work, and I was talking about doing inventory, and he goes, you gotta do the work though. And I go, I mean, you don't have to, but like, you know, yeah, you should. He goes, I mean, but the payoff's what? Peace and serenity? Don't we all want that? I don't know that all people do want that. I don't know, you know, that a lot of people really, I mean, if you're watching this video, you're probably somebody out, if you're drawn to this channel, you're probably somebody that does want peace and serenity in your life. You probably don't want the family drama. You probably don't want the toxicity and the chaos and the negativity. But do I think that there are some people out there that thrive off of that? Absolutely. And I don't even know that they're aware of it. It's not like you can blame it, you know, blame them on it and say, well, you're just such a negative person. I think most people out there that are really negative and toxic don't even realize that they are. No, truly. You know, now do I think that there's maybe like 5% out there or 3% of people that are really toxic and negative, and they are just nasty people, and they know that and they don't care? Sure, I think there's a few of them out there. But I think by and large, most people, because I can tell you, when I was really negative and toxic to the relationships in my life and things like that, I wasn't even aware of it. Well, to be honest with you, I was so self-centered I could care less. And I'm thankfully not that person today. You know, thankfully, other people and their lives come into mind of how I do things today. And I think that does add to being who are you as a person of character. You have to start thinking about others, not just yourself, you know? And so I think it's all of the work is interesting, and And I get excited about getting up every day and being like, okay, so how am I going to challenge myself today to be a better person? Like, what opportunities are going to arise, you know? And all this kind of stuff where I can be, you know, posed with, am I going to take the opportunity or am I not? Because I'm going to be honest, there are some days that I'm just not in the mood to be the greatest person in the world. I'm just not, you know? And that's no excuse. Those are the days that are the hardest, right? It's like, I love the quote from The Contender, the movie The Contender. If you've never seen it, it's fantastic. It's an adult movie though, but I love that movie. And there is a quote at the end of the movie, and she's talking about principles, and he says to her, well, anyway, it's a long story. If you've watched my other videos, you probably know, because I talk about it. I quoted this a lot. But she says in there, principles only mean something if you stick to them when they're inconvenient. And I love that quote because I think it's so true, you know? Don't ask me who I am on the greatest day of my life, you know? Don't ask me who I am when, you know, I'm smiling and happy and dancing around. Ask me who I am on my toughest day. You know, like my best friend Tanya always says, you want to know who I really am? Ask my husband, ask my son, ask my best friends, ask my employees, ask them who I am, and ask them on a day that I'm not having a great day, right? Like, how do I handle days like that? Because that's the true test, right? But I think at the end of all of it, it's not how much money you make or how many cars you have or what kind of house you have or what kind of, you know, all of that. Sure, all of that's nice, right? But I think at the end of the day, when we look back on our lives, I truly do think that it does come down to that moment of like, how did I really treat people in my life? Who was I? You know, and was I a person of character? And I think it's a great question to ask ourselves on a daily basis. And I know for me, I have a lot of work to do. You know, I still have a lot of work to do. But I love this meditation. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.